As the series comes to an end, let's go through all 23 custom origins that were used within the Afterlife SMP. This won't be going through the extra origins mod or the origins mod itself, as I've already done videos on them in depth, so you can go watch those instead. But let's begin with the 23 custom origins. Going in alphabetical order, we've got the Atling origin created by 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼. The abilities of this origin is amphibious. You have adapted to survive both on land and underwater. Aqua affinity, you may break blocks underwater as others do on land. Like water, when underwater you do not sink to the ground unless you want to. Play dead, where you can heal yourself at the cost of being stunned for a few seconds. And helping hand, by punching allies while crouched you can grant them regeneration for a random amount of time. On land, crouching will remove the weakness effect and allow for low damage punches. Moving into your weaknesses, you've got Land Walker. On land, you're weak to melee and you get hungry much faster. Thermophobia, you take double damage from fire and will dry up whenever you're exposed to sun and hot biomes. And Unwieldy, due to your webbed hands, you cannot hold a shield. There's also a collection of hidden traits that are hidden inside of the readme of the origin within itself. Next we have the Birb origin created by 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼. Going through the abilities, you've got Small Birb. Birbs are small, and you're a Birb, so you're small too. Since you're a Birb, you also have natural wings. Love Air, you love flying so much you learned how to use it to your full potential. You deal twice the damage whilst flying, however, you do very little damage when on the ground. Grainivore, as a Birb, you prefer to eat wheat seeds instead of other foods, so you can only eat said wheat seeds. Jockey, you can ride other players, this is your secondary ability. Tweet, Birbs love to repeat what other things say near them, and now with that ability they can find where the sound is coming from to know where things really are nearby, using the save hotbar activator key. Flap, you can flap your wings to send yourself forward using your primary ability. And Small Appetite, as a small Birb you don't have to eat much, meaning your exhaustion will go down slower. Weaknesses, you've got smaller body, the Birb has less hearts, 8 hearts in total. Extreme need for mobility, the Birb is a tiny, which makes it hard for it to wear any armor apart from leather, gold, chainmail, and iron chest plates. Brittle bones, you take more damage from falling and flying into blocks. And feathery grip, due to your weak wings, you can't load bows or crossbows normally, which make the amount of damage you do with them way less. Because of your wings, you also can't use shields. Next we have the Candy origin, aka Sugar Person, created by the user known as Nugget. Moving through the abilities, you've got Cake Master, you can craft 1 cake with 9 sugar on the crafting table. Cookie Master, you can craft 1 cookie with 4 sugar on the crafting table. Favorite food, eating cookies give you way more saturation and hunger than normal. Hard Sugar, by pressing G you get protection but lose many hunger points. Sugar Expert, you take no berry bush damage whatsoever. Sugar Addict, you can only eat sweet food, pumpkin pie, honey, sweet berries, cookies and cake, for example. Sugar Kit, you can start with many sugar related items. Sugar Stomach, by leaving sugar in your offhand you lose 1 sugar for every 2 seconds and get haste 2 and speed 2 in exchange. And Sweet Recipe, you can craft 9 sugar with 9 sweet berries in a crafting table. Next we have the Dullahan origin created by the user known as DevMon. Going through the active abilities, you've got Spectre's Dismay, shoot a skulls launched with a soul of a creeper. Mighty Steed, summon a skeleton horse, can only be unlocked when getting the Best Friends achievement, which can be rideable. Building Change, can shoot out a chain which inflicts a bleeding effect on the mob for a short amount of time. Your core pros is you have a starter kit, you've travelled far and wide and therefore you've brought some items with you. Fear, people are afraid of you and therefore your presence causes nearby mobs to be blinded with fear. Night Horseman, you're stronger during the night time. Your neutral is you got bones, you have a 50% chance to drop bones whenever you're attacked. And undead, you're classified as an undead mob, gaining all those extra attributes, such as smite, doing extra damage and other things along those lines. Cons, you've got Soul Devour, you cannot eat normal food, instead you must feed on captured souls, aka soul lanterns. Day is not for you, you're weaker during the day and increases your thirst of souls throughout the day as well. Shunned, villagers increase their trades and iron golems will attack you on sight because you hunt down the souls of other humans. And Cursed, any items imbued with a curse can seal you inside of the weapon and kill you instantly. Next we have the Enigma origin created by both the 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓰𝓼 2008 and Syrup. Going through the abilities, you've got Behind You. When using this, you get teleported behind the person you're looking at, no limit to how far away they are, you just need to look at them. It's got a 10-second cooldown and this is your primary ability. Clone, you can create a clone of yourself, you become invisible. If you're cloned or you are hit, it will disappear into the shadows. It'll also make you visible again and deal 4 hearts of damage. You can also remove the clone of yourself without taking damage by pressing the primary ability again, a 5-minute cooldown for that ability. Hidden in the shadows, load hotbar for this one. To master in the tricks, you need to be a master in hiding. You can phase through walls and are transparent to the point where you're almost invisible. Hated. Everyone hates you and all neutral mobs will attack you on sight. Villagers won't trade with you and you can't tame anything. Staring contest. When you keep staring at someone, a bar will fill up. First they'll get slowness and weakness, then blindness and nausea, and eventually they will die. The bar goes down very fast when you stop staring at them though. No fighting. Why fight when you can creep your entities until they kill themselves? You deal 0 melee damage with any weapon. Good sight. You stare at your prey a lot to scare them, so you developed an extremely good eyesight. You always have night vision, and when you sneak, you can see everybody around you with glow, only for players. Updates and bug fixes. You can now hit people with your fist. Staring contests now can give poison as a third stage before killing your victim. Staring contests will also apply a glow effect to your victim, which will have a different color for each stage, and adds 1 level of slowness for each staring contest stage. Next we have the Faryborn origin created by 𝓵𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼. Moving into your abilities, you've got the air affinity. You break blocks in the air at the same speed as on land. Fairy wings, you inherited wings from fairies. Flight, your wings allow you to fly using your primary ability key. Honey lover, fairies love honey so you get more food and saturation from it. Healing magic makes a circle of healing around you that gives you regeneration. This is your secondary ability. Descend, you use your wings to fall slower and don't take fall damage. Small, fairies are usually small and so are you too, 1/4 of a block. Hey, listen, make yourself glow using the load tool hotbar activator key. Vulnerable, your small body can't take a lot of damage, only having 5 hearts. Cold-blooded, due to your size, your body doesn't generate enough temperature for you to survive in cold biomes for long. Weak body, your body is too weak to wear armor heavier than iron. And where do I put these? You cannot wear chest plates because they don't have holes for your wings. Next we have the giant origin, created by the user known as 𝓵𝓱𝓷𝓷𝓰𝓼. Moving into your abilities, you got 2 times size, you're 4 blocks tall, you have 2 times as much health, you deal 33% more damage, you take 50% less fall damage, you take 33% less knockback, you have the 2 times jump height, you can reach 33% more than usual, you can break blocks at 50% faster, you can slam in the ground, dealing damage and destroying blocks. This is your active ability. You do not slip on ice, so you will walk normally. Leather armor gives you as much protection as iron armor would. You love cake, other players can ride on top of you. You also have a 30% less slower attack speed, you lose hunger 50% faster, you'll sink in water, you cannot ride any animals or vehicles whatsoever, you can't use an elytra or a riptide trident, you'll break bows and crossbows on use, you take 3 times damage from arthropods, and you can only sleep on 4 beds put together. Next we have the Goolien origin, also known as the Goo origin, by 𝓽𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼, created by 𝓽𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼. I'm definitely saying that name wrong. Going through the abilities, you got gooey skin. Your gooey skin makes you green and somewhat translucent. Condensing, you're able to condense yourself into 1/4 of your usual size using your primary ability, but due to your high density and smaller legs, you become slower. Gooey body, thanks to your body being an in-between of a solid and a liquid, it's more difficult to hurt you and you take less damage from physical attacks. Splat, you take less velocity damage, but if the potential damage is severe enough, you'll become slow for a while you try to put yourself back together. Sticky grip, with your sticky skin you'll be able to climb walls, however this also makes it so you can't throw tridents as efficiently. Stomach body, you've increased saturation from meats both raw and cooked thanks to how your body breaks down the matter, and you don't get hunger or poison status effects at all. However, you have no regeneration and must eat to get hearts back directly. No lungs, having to survive in space, you've adapted to having no need to breathe any form of air and you're able to go underwater without the fear of drowning. Gooey fist, because you're not entirely solid, you deal reduced damage. Flammable, your chemical composition makes you extremely flammable, thus you take increased fire damage and can only be put out with water or powdered soap, meaning you'll burn indefinitely. Ignitable, you cannot wear iron armor or above in deserts, the nether or other hot biomes, or either risk being set on fire from the heat. You can protect yourself from this by enchanting your armor with fire protection 2 or better. And absorbent, since your body passively absorbs water over time, being in the water too long causes you to become slower. Next we have the Gravital origin, aka known as the Faryborn origin, created by 𝓽𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼. Running through the abilities, you got Polarizing Shift. You can shift polarities to push or pull. Push will send enemies flying in the direction you're looking, and pull them will bring them back to you in the opposite direction of where you're looking, primary ability. Gravital Blast. You can launch yourself either forwards or backwards based upon where you're looking and your polarity, secondary ability. Gravity Power increases your reach by 2 blocks and your speed by 1.75. Gravity Mass. You weigh less, so you jump higher, you take no fall damage, and you make no sound when you move. Your attacks don't have as much force though, so you'll do 50% less damage. Wrong Shift, you spawn in the desert. Adverse Polarity, you can't wear iron armor or use a shield. And Gravity Pressure, you have 3 less hearts. Next we have the half robot / part robot origin created by that robot boy. The abilities are Steel Skin, you have more greyish like. Heavy, you're slow and strong due to a humanoid made out of iron. Effect Immune, you're immune to negative effects such as nausea, poison, wither, and etc. but you're not immune to harming due to harming going through iron. Laser, your primary ability, shoot a witheringly speedy laser. Sentry mode works in 1.17.1 only. The load tool hotbar key shoots 100 lasers in a matter of time rapidly. Unexhausted, you're a robot, so what's food? Self-regeneration, your secondary ability regenerates your health back. Water breather, you're a robot, so you don't need oxygen to breathe in water. Strong arms, since you're a robot, you can mine anything that is weaker than iron very fast and also obtain it. Tank skin, because you're a robot, you get an additional 10 heart points, basically 5 more hearts. No regeneration, you cannot regenerate heart with your humanoid self, you have to use your secondary ability. Hydrophobic, you're a robot and you know how electricity gets ruined by water, so whilst you can't breathe, you don't have to breathe in water. You will only have 10 seconds of being in water till you die from it. Boiling, you boil in hot biomes if you move too much in them. Overheat, you take double damage in lava or fire. Already iron, your robot's made of iron, so go on and get something better than iron armor if you want any form of armor. Next you have the half wither origin created by Troll Likes Pizza. Going through the abilities, you have Wither Skull, you shoot a Wither Skull at your target. Feast on their souls, you feed off the souls of those who you kill. Wither Immunity, you become immune to the effects of the Wither. Unstable Soul, because your body is half Wither, your soul needs more energy / food to stay stable. Never Inhabitant, your natural spawn will be in the Nether. Next we have the Iceling origin created by Arctic Bonnie. Going through the abilities, better in the cold, you're buffed in cold biomes with speed and strength. Using what's near, you can harvest snow with your bare hands. Like your ancestors, since you're an inchling, you can't take thorns / cactus damage. Like your ancestors too, you're smaller, so you need to eat less. No reason for a noise, you can breathe in water. Ice shards, you can shoot shards of glass with the primary key. Too fast, you can't be slowed. Speed, you've got perma speed 2. You evolved there, you spawn in a snowy biome. Like your ancestors 3, you're as tall as an inchling. Made of ice, you're blue and transparent. As usual, you'll take double the fire damage. As usual too, you do not like hot biomes, giving you weakness, hunger, and slowness within them. Brittle, more fall damage, you take more fall damage because you're made of ice. Too heavy, you cannot wear anything higher than chainmail armor. Next we have the Illusional origin created by the user known as Elo. Now this is original message here, they do not even have the abilities for the origin, instead they link back to my video. So you know what you need to do for that one at least. But the video is pretty terrible, so I don't blame you if you don't bother watching it. The Mothling origin created by the user known as Steel Boot. Flight, you can use fly using a mixture of gliding and wing propulsion. Lantern Light, when nearby a lantern you will gain regeneration. Moth-like body, you're smaller and have less overall hearts. Weakening Light, whenever you're nearby a soul lantern you will gain mining fatigue. Armor weight, armor will weigh you down and at most you can only wear a mixture of iron and chainmail armor. And Moth Diet, you only eat leather and rabbit hide. Next we have the Raccoon origin created by the user known as James Dust or Ames Just. The abilities is Scurry. Being of a scurrying trash panda, using the primary ability key gives the user speed 2 for 10 seconds. When using this ability, the user will gain weakness for 2 minutes, and you have a cooldown of 1 minute afterwards. Opportunix Eater. Raccoons will eat whatever is the most convenient, including the rotten flesh. You'll get more saturation from normal from rotten flesh and will have immunity to the hunger debuff. 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓰𝓼, I think that may not be correct. Raccoons have increased vision in the dark from their fur mask. Sly Cooper. Raccoon's dark fur gives him natural camouflage, using the secondary ability key to go invisible for 5 seconds, but you'll gain poisonous and weakness for 30 seconds afterwards. Climbing, Raccoons allow them to climb. Toggle by the load bar activator key, you can climb up walls. Passive Phantoms. Phantoms will not be aggressive towards you unless you attack them first. Weasel. The user is shorter than humans but taller than Inchings, you have 3 less hearts and you also take reduced fall damage. Indigestion. Eating bread, cookies or cake will give the user poison for 15 seconds since these are toxic to raccoons. This also applies to the candy corn if using Croptopia. Nocturnal. As a nocturnal creature you cannot sleep, however you can still set your spawn in beds anyhow. And Barrow. Being used to small spaces, you're uncomfortable in places with high ceilings and get slowness and weakness when in places higher than 2 blocks above you. Next we have Red Panda, created by the user known as JKey with 3 Ys. Moving into the abilities, you've got Look at How Cute I Am. By pressing your primary power key, you freeze all mobs and players in a 30 block radius because of how adorable you are. Sharp Claws. Your claws and agility allow you to scale and climb blocks. This ability is toggleable by secondary key. Nocturnal. You spend most of your walking hours at night, allowing you to see better at night. Jungle Native. Your homeland is the jungle, therefore you spawn there. Bamboo Eater / Strict Diet. You're only able to consume bamboo, although you can only eat said bamboo. Lazy. You move slower during the day because of your laziness. Fur. You take 50% more fire damage as well. Next we have the Sculkborn origin, which is created by the user known as Sir Ion, but I don't think it's exactly the best variant of these type of origins, as I did make a video featuring the Sculk origin a few days ago if you want to check out that video, but this one is Sculk Sense. You can sense nearby entities and can even tell if they're passive, neutral or aggressive. Mushroom Diet. You can eat raw mushrooms and fungus with your primary power key, default by G. Underground Haste. As a creature of the underground, you get haste speed below underground Y of 32. Underground Strength. As creatures of the underground, you get increased strength underground below Y of 32. Hardened Fungus Armor. You have natural armor by default. Strong Legs. Your legs are big and strong, you can jump 2 blocks high. Dense Body. You're so heavy you cannot swim, however you don't need to breathe since you're a fungus. Sculk Skin. Your skin is a deep teal color. Large Statue. Since you derive from the water, you're naturally larger than the average person and also have more health. You can also reach further blocks and do a lot more damage, but you're slower. Temperature Sensitivity. Extreme temperatures are bad. You take double freezing, fire, lava and magma damage. Weak Eyes. Your eyes are weak when in direct sunlight and things get blurry. Get undercover or wear a leather helmet to fix it. Unruly Arms. With your tendrily arms, you cannot properly use a shield, bow, crossbow or throw a trident. You do much less projectile damage and you cannot even use a shield. Heavily Metabolism. You need to eat more than normal. Next we have the Shadowcrawler origin, created by the user known as 𝓽𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼. Going through the abilities, you have Shadow Warp, because you're a shadow, allowing yourself to instantly move 20 blocks in front of you. No Exhaustion. You do not need to eat food, as after hundreds of years your body has become adept at conserving energy. Shadow Boost. Whenever you're in dark spaces, you receive a boost to most stats and can see better. You're darker and more transparent than most entities. You can also give off some particles as well. Light Weaknesses. Whenever in areas of light you receive debuffs, as you cannot merge with the shadows around you. Blinding Lights. When exposed to light, you temporarily lose your sight and can recover by hiding in dark spaces. The Thornling origin, created by Beacon. The abilities are Piercing Thorns. You're protected by a strange magical aura. When hit, the attacker will get damaged by 1 heart. This cannot be blocked by any type of armor or shield. You can toggle this ability with your primary key, and you're also immune to Thorns based damage. Empowered. While wearing a full set of armor with Thorns 3, you receive 40% less damage. Magic Conductor. Your body needs magic to live. Wearing any type of armor that isn't gold will slowly wither you away. Since golden armor is very weak, you've come up with a solution. By using gold blocks instead of gold ingots, you can make reinforced golden armor pieces. You can see the recipe in-game or in the images below this. Dwarven-like stature. You're about 1.4 blocks tall. Punching Bag. Being hit so many times has weakened you a lot, and you have 3 less hearts and deal 40% of less damage. And Cursed Decay. Wearing, holding, or being hit by anything with a cursed enchantment will affect you with Withered Tooth for about 3 seconds. Next we have the Vampire origin, created by It's Yo Boy. This requires the Medievals and the Origins mod, so you will need an additional mod for this one as well. Bloodthirsty. With a bottle in your offhand and a dagger in your main hand, you can collect blood by attacking them. Drinking blood regenerates your blood bar is used to regenerate your health. Blood Dash, a dash ability that is more powerful during the night time. Switch. Using the secondary ability key, you can choose a nearby entity that you'll be able to switch with. Sneaking and right clicking will then execute that teleport action. Fall immunity, you're completely immune to fall damage. Used to the darkness. During the nighttime, you'll get permanent buffs from the move, but in the other hand, during the day, you'll become weaker whilst exposed to the sun. Undead, you're classified as an undead mob, and photophonic, you'll take damage whilst exposed to the sun, and scared of wood. Wooden weapons deal much more damage to you. Now, some changes were made to this origin in order to make it work with the Origin's umbrella mod that just means that you have protection from the sun if you hold an umbrella. Next we have the Villager origin created by Infinite, Hired Help. You can summon an Iron Golem every 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Evade, you gain speed 2, hunger and resistance for 20 seconds. Permanent Hero of the Village 4. Nighttime, you gain permanent slowness whenever it's nighttime. Birthplace, your natural spawn as a village, and Large Appetite, you need to eat much more than others. Next we have the Wyverian origin created by 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼. I did not say that correctly, apologies for that one, creator. Venomous, you can breathe out large clouds of poisonous. Hot-blooded, you're immune to poison. Winged, you have a large pair of wings. Claws, you have large powerful claws allowing you to do more damage to enemies. Gift of Flight, you can flap your large rings in the air to fly. Nocturnal, you have night vision allowing you to see in the dark. Height, you're taller than most creatures and you're around 3 blocks tall. Carnivorous, you can only eat meat. Heavy wings, you get slowness and weakness in water, and weak arms, you cannot hold a shield. Now there are other origins that have been spotted within the actual server itself, such as a kangaroo based origin, but because of how many different versions of that origin exist in the Discord server, as well as the lacked information that we do gain from just the simple visual that we do see in one of the screens, we have no idea which ones those are. But these are all the custom origins that we have our almost confirmed knowledge on, that's what they are. If you want to go download them all, you will all be able to go to those Discord messages linked in the Afterlife SMP wiki, which I'll have linked down below, the same list as all the mods. There's also the Mob Origins mod and the Extra Origins mod involved in the Afterlife SMP as well, and if you want to know more information about them, I've made videos on both of those mods which will be on screen right now. Either way, subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!